We'll get this meeting of the City of International Falls to order for Monday, May 15th, 2023. If you could all join me in pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, everybody. Please note that Councilor Holden is missing, but all the other council is present. First item on our agenda is to approve the agenda. There isn't necessarily any changes, but I do know that under number 5 for new business, we'll also be requesting for the use of Cary Park or Smoky Bear Park on Fridays for the movies in the park. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve.
We have a motion from Councilor Buller. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilor Wigner. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Next, we go to the minutes of the 1st of May. Chair would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councilor Kaler,
I'll second.
second by Councilor Buller. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Next, we have the Committee of the Whole minutes from last week. Chair would entertain a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve from Councilor Wegner. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilor Kaler. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And I will vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Next, we go to the payments and claims. We have a resolution before us. We have city transfers going to the 401 Permanent Improvement Fund. That is $66,666.66. That's coming evenly between the 601 water and the 603 sewer in the amount of $33,333.33. We have funds going to Fund 403, Capital Reserve, or Reserve for Capital Outlay. That's going to be $20,567.25. That's coming from the 601 water in the amount of $14,693 even, and the 603 sewer in the amount of $5,874.25, for a total amount of transfers of $87,233.91. International Falls claims, $598,282.73. Airport Commission claims of $5,454.59. And International Falls Public Library Board claims of $8,880.34. For a total accounts payable of $612,617.66. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the resolution of the payments and claims.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councilor Wegner. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilor Buller. Any discussion, questions, concerns? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And I will vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Go to audience. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to bring anything forward that is not on the agenda? There's also going to be an opportunity.
Got a hand?
Oh, please come forward.
Hand there.
So it's not on the agenda, but it's related to an item on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
So I have a neighbor that told me the plans for Cary Park and that includes a splash park. Is that decision final or?
So the question is the Cary Park project including a splash park, and is that decision final? So the splash park is being funded by Rotary. Rotary has raised the funds for that piece of the Cary Park project. I believe that they have raised approximately $75,000 of the $100,000 that the splash park would be. With that being said, the city has not moved forward with the Cary Park project in any capacity as of yet. We have went out for funding through the legislature through a bond. That bond would not have to be paid back by the city or the residents of International Falls. Coincidentally, I was told this morning from Senator Housechild that our request has been pulled out of the bond as of this morning. So the 1.8 million that the city was hoping to get for engineering has been removed. There's still an opportunity for that in the future if they do a general obligation bond. Again, the city would not have to pay that back or the residents. But to answer your question, it is not finalized. We don't have anything finalized on the project because we don't want to put money, like city funds, into a project that we can't finalize. So we have been working with the state to try to help us move that project forward. Any other question?
No, that clears it up, but I'm surprised the Rotary is willing to spend that kind of money on it. I don't know how many times a year where little kids would have to cool off in our neck of the woods, you know.
Mainly summer.
Well, yeah, how many days after summer? So this year we might have maybe a couple weeks of summer. Who knows?
Yeah.
But, I mean, the city is going to assume a lot of liability there, I would guess. They would have to have round-the-clock supervision.
So the question would be is if the city would have liability and would it be utilized? The answer to that is the liability would fall no more or less than having any other form of playground equipment. It would be accessible during daylight hours. I don't think we would have any more or less liability to having a splash park than anything else. As for Rotary raising the funds for that particular project, there's many cities in northern Minnesota, in northwestern Ontario, that are looking at doing the same thing, and it's an opportunity for the youth. And that's why Rotary thought it was a good idea. That's why when we went to the community and talked to them about recreation, that was at the top of the list, along with trampoline park, which would be a high liability, so we chose against that. But yeah, it is something that the residents have said that they wanted, and Rotary was willing to raise funds for.
Well, I appreciate your willingness to go along with it, but remember what you just stated, that it's an opportunity for the youth, and that further down on the agenda, there's an item coming up where you're going to be taking away a tremendous opportunity for the youth, and a larger portion of the youth.
Okay. I will, when we get to that agenda item, I would love to have you have that discussion with us. Okay. So thank you, I appreciate that. Next, we go to new business. We have the mayoral proclamation proclaiming June 2023 as Pride Month. We received a request for dedication of a month from Borderland Pride. At this time, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the mayoral proclamation.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councilor Kaler. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Wegner. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
And I'll vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Next, we have signatures and updating the memorandum of understanding and amendment between Minnesota North College Rainy River and the City of International Falls. Supposed to be Brad Crassway. I don't see him here, but I can tell you historically this is what we've had in the past, and this is just having the police department work with the college in the event that there is anything that comes up. Chief, do you want to add anything, or is that basically it?
That's basically, it's just an updating of the dates and years.
Okay, so the chair would entertain a motion to approve that memorandum of understanding.
So moved.
We have a motion by Counselor Buller. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Counselor Kaler. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
And I will vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Next, consider the subordinate agreement of the Small Cities Development Program Housing Rehabilitation Deferred Loan Repayment Agreement and mortgage previously issued to Gene Dalt to allow financing a mortgage through Rocket Mortgage. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that agreement.
So moved.
We have a motion by Counselor Buller. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Counselor Wagner. City Administrator, you want to give us some background on this one?
Sure, thank you, Mayor. Back in 10 years ago, so 2013, we had worked with the Small Cities Development Program to help them rehabilitate housing. There were different phases of that. This Gene Dalt happened to have a deferred loan. That means if they stayed in the property for 10 years, the $20,000+ that was used for rehabilitation of the property would be deferred annually, and they could pay it off if they were to sell prior to the end. This one is done October 3rd of this year. So 5 months. Rocket Mortgage just reached out to me last week asking if we would consider subordinating and being second, as they are been asked to refinance for the property owner. The caveat to that is we have done that in the past, but we are very close to the end of it. The balance in the payoff would be the difference of, I believe, $2,060. We could request that amount because it is being refinanced prior to the end, it's changing prior to the end of that 10 years. Or we could subordinate and put ourselves in second position behind Rocket Mortgage for the 5 months. Until then, we would give her a clean release on her title.
So either way, either we get paid in 5 months regardless.
No.
Help me understand that one more time then.
The deferred loan, after 10 years, it's forgiven.
Okay.
So they don't have to pay anything back. But she's refinancing prior to the end of 10 years. So with that, they are obligated to pay off the percentage.
Okay.
Each year is a percentage that they would have to pay back if they were to do a refinance or sell or other things with that property and not just stay with that property for 10 years.
Okay, I'm still missing something, and I apologize.
So,
I'm not following it
when
either.
it was financed in 2013, every year thereafter, they forgave 10% of the loan.
Okay.
So $20,600 was what was owed. On the first year, $2,060 was forgiven. On the next year, $4,120 was forgiven. As of October 3rd of last year, because they were at year 9, $18,540 of their loan has been forgiven. Part of the deferment program requires that they hold ownership and they don't refinance during those 10 years. So because they're refinancing, they're triggering essentially a due on sale, but it's not that term, but it functions the same way. So the difference between what has been forgiven and the original deferred loan is $2,060. So because they're refinancing before the end of the 10 years, which would be October 3rd of this year, we can trigger that due on sale, even though it's not sold, but same kind of terminology in your brain.
Yep.
And say you have to pay us the $2,060 since you're refinancing. Or you can do the subordination agreement, let them refinance. If they're refinancing now, I would assume they're going to stay in the same house until October, but that's an option to the city council, whether you want to trigger it and say you want the $2,060 because they're refinancing prior to October 3rd, 2023, or say we'll sign the subordination agreement.
And if we sign this agreement, then in 5 months, we get the 2,000?
No.
No.
Then it's forgiven.
Then it's forgiven,
we're
because it's
forgiving
going to be forgiven anyhow.
Oh, a big $2,000 windfall. All right. Okay, I now understand it better. So it's either $2,000 or nothing regardless. Okay,
And I would think it's safe to say they're going to be there in October.
I would lean towards that. So we have a motion and a second. Does everyone feel comfortable with the information that we have? Because now I do. All right, so I'll call the question.
Aye.
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 And I will vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Ooh, I hope that's the toughest one we have tonight. We'll go to the recommendation of the office clerk, hiring committee to hire Crystal Skrine to fill the vacant office clerk position in accordance with the IUOE Local 49 Collective Bargaining Agreement. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that hire.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Counselor Buller.
Second.
We have a second by Counselor Wegner. City Administrator?
Mayor and Council, you had approved filling the last vacant position in the administration office of the office clerk. The committee comprised of Deputy Administrator Lisa Riggs, Kelly Myers, a building official, because this person will be working closely with that department, and HR Director Sherry Stensland was the committee. They had quite a large pool of applicants, from what I recall. They had interviewed a significant number to, do our due diligence, and at the end of it, the committee is recommending Crystal for the appointment to this position.
Okay. Any questions? All right, hearing none, we'll call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Welcome. Do you want to come and speak? Do you want to come for the very first council meeting? Oh my God, let's do it. Yeah, give us an introduction. Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm super excited for this opportunity.
Good.
Pronounce my last name right, so that's a good start.
Well, coincidentally, we did have a child in early childhood development together. So this isn't my first rodeo with your family, so thank you. All right, next we have a request from iFalls Nice to use Smoky Bear Park Wednesdays between May 31st and August 30th, 2023 for concerts in the park. Coincidentally, we are also looking at utilizing the park on Fridays from June 9th to August 4th for movies in the park. The chair would entertain a motion to approve those requests.
Make a motion to approve those requests.
We have a motion by Counselor Wegner. Do we have a second?
A second.
Second by Counselor Buller. Discussion?
I'm just wondering, how's the funding coming? I know you had stuff on Facebook and,
Yeah, so really quick, iFalls Nice is myself and two other folks. It's Amy Mortensen and Tony Corpy. We're literally three people that are trying to do neat things in our community and try to give us opportunity and have things for families to do. One of them is years ago, we took over concerts in the park. We quit asking for the city to fund that program. So we have been raising money by, talking to businesses, having sponsors. We have not asked for money from the city in, I believe, 4 or 5 years. It's been a while. We pay $200 to all of the people that perform in the park on Wednesday nights. It ends up being about $2,000 through the summer of having local concerts. We have some people that come up from Cloquet. I think that's the farthest one that we have south. Just to do concerts in the park, in Smoky Bear Park. During the pandemic, we started doing drive-in movie theater. We ended up working with the school district, and as the conversation in the community was that the movie theater was going to be closed, we thought it would be really nice to have some movies available for folks in the park. Now our movie theater is open again, but with that being said, to have a opportunity for people to gather in Smoky Bear Park still makes a ton of sense. We have reached out to the community. I believe all of the movies are sponsored, and if they're not sponsored, they're all paid for at this point. And the concerts in the park, I think we're really, really close, if not have everything covered. Because it is just the three of us, we don't handle any of the finances ourselves. Rotary is our financial agent, so they're the ones who we give the money to, that are the ones who issue out the checks. But it is a wonderful, wonderful way of having the community be able to meet once a week, and now it's going to be twice a week. So that is the little ditty on High Falls Nice and the concerts and movies in the park. So we have a motion and a second. Call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And I will vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Next, we go to land use and legislation recommendation. Did I miss something?
No.
Oh,
said
okay.
excellent.
Land use and legislation recommendation, approve the garbage hauler license application. Northern Disposal LLC, owner Zachary Dolan. You want to come on up? No? Okay. I thought they were here. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that license.
I'll make that move.
We have a motion from Councilor Buller. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilor Kaler. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes, motion carries 4-0.
Sleeping.
Next, we have a resolution declaring petition of ordering a preparation of feasibility study for bituminous paving of Fifth Avenue West between 19th Street and 20th Street. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that feasibility study.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Councilor Buller. Do we have a second?
A second.
Second by Councilor Wagner. Discussion?
Is there a cost related with this?
Ted, if you want to come forward. The question is there a cost related to it?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. By accepting the petition, which will enact a feasibility study, which the city engineer will put together a cost, which, once that cost is done, then we will have all the adjoining property owners will be notified. We will have a public hearing where they can come and voice their concern and see what the estimated cost is going to be. That is when the city council will decide whether we're going to proceed with the project. Basically, you're accepting the petition, which we need to get the feasibility study to give an idea of what the project's going to cost, to see if the abutting property owners feel that it's worthy of the cost.
Does the feasibility study cost anything?
Actually, the feasibility cost is going to be minimal due to the fact that we're doing 19th. And that's why I'm kind of trying to, if we're going to do this, I would like to try and do it this year on our projects, due to the fact that I don't see us doing a lot of bituminous work next year, which could drive the cost up for one block of bituminous assessment. But the cost is going to be very minimal because we've already put the work into the same design road. We're doing 2 blocks, I think, of assessed project up on the hill off of 9th Avenue East and 20th, I believe. So we're doing 2 blocks up there. So the cost is going to be minimal, but I did not get a cost for the feasibility study.
So I didn't look at the properties directly. Is there anything that connects to this that is not paved? Like, we've had the issue in the past in other areas.
So from 20th all the way to 17th isn't paved right now. It's gravel.
Okay.
But there is a huge gap in between, it abuts the Army Reserve building or the county building. There's a lot of wooded area. The same experience we had on 6th Avenue.
That's exactly what I was talking about, thinking about.
I asked Betty if we could put it on to just do the 1 block. I would love to do it all, But we've got 100% participation with the adjoining property owners now.
Yeah.
That's just going to drive that percentage down. You know, and I'm afraid it's going to end up the same way it did 6th Avenue. It's going to push it off for another 2 years, and we're going to end up coming back and doing just the one block, if that makes sense, because.
Oh, it does, it's just dumb.
Well, but there's an assessed cost to it, and if people aren't using the property, you know, if they're not living there, you know, the county's not going to get assessed, so there's one whole block, almost a block and a half, that wouldn't be assessed, right in the middle. So.
It's just, it's frustrating that, you know, exactly what happened on 6th. We have an area that is paved.
Yep.
And so you drive down a paved, and then you hit where that ends, and then it's just dirt. And for those that don't know the situation, everybody on that block wanted it to be paved. You go one block later, it's sparsely populated, there's nobody there, the county owns some of the property. If we would have called for an entire assessment, half the people wouldn't do it, and therefore that entire project would be killed because half the people didn't vote for it. So that's how we end up situations in the community where you have one block being completely paved and one going into a dirt road.
Yep.
I had a memory of that as I was delivering flowers this last week. Okay, so we have, everyone feel comfortable with the information? Yes. All right. Chair would entertain a motion, or we already have a motion and a second. I will call the question.
Aye.
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 And I will vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Ted, could you just stay?
I got the papers, I think.
I think you do.
Yeah, you're going to be here for at least 3.
So I have to assume that, that Steve, the situation that you wanted to talk about would be the Cary Park action that we're talking about right now. Okay.
You're
So
jumping.
let-
You're jumping one.
Jumping,
Go
yeah.
back to number 8, please.
Oh, man, I'm horrible at this job.
Yep.
Approve the resolution authorizing application for grant navigation for the Support for City. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councilor Kaler. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Wagner. Discussion? Concerns?
No.
Call the question.
Aye.
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 And I will vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Now, we're on the basketball and the tennis court. Before we have any motion, I just want to give you the little bit of information that I remember in my time on Public Works, and I have to assume it hasn't changed. So one of the things that we're trying to do in the city is have quality equipment for our youth, quality sidewalks, you know, so people can utilize the community. Cary Park is run down. We understand that it's run down. That's one of the things that we're trying to work on this Cary Park project. Throughout the course of the last couple of years, especially last year with the flood, we used Cary Park to stage sandbagging efforts, and it got beat up pretty bad. One of the things that we're looking at is utilizing our community the way people are utilizing our community. So there is basketball courts over at Cary Park. We also have basketball over at Smoky Bear Park. We just redid that. It gets used, and it gets used a lot. Kids are over there. We don't have youth using Cary Park for basketball, even when it was still in decent shape, because they're all using Smoky Bear Park. The tennis courts over at Cary Park have been beat up, and they've been wrecked for quite a while. And we just spent a lot of money fixing up and making a premier tennis court up in South Falls by Haller School or Shannon's. So I think that that's what we're trying to do. I haven't been on Public Works. I have to assume that's why this is before us. I will hand it off to our Public Works council members or Ted to give us background on why we're at where we're at.
One other basketball court that you're not including is the one up on Holler, too.
Okay.
That's used a lot up there, too. So we kind of took an assessment of which courts are being used and which ones are sitting idle, and they also have pickleball up there now, too.
Yeah. Special words.
Yep. So So, yeah, the courts that we have, and you can add, Ted, what your thoughts are on it, but.
So when we discussed 2 years ago about putting a tennis court up at Holler, because one hockey rink was getting used, both of them weren't getting used, but we were having to refinish them every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
The goal was to make one very good tennis court up there on the adjoining sheet. We have 4 basketball courts that are in good shape. We have one at City Beach, we have one at Holler, and we have 2 over here. We've also got 2, I'll call mini courts, one at Carson Loopy and one at Green Acres. We're in the process, we started today to put up the new tennis net. The tennis net, it's going to be multi-use. You're going to be able to play full court tennis, or we were going to have 2 portable pickleball nets that you'll be able to split the court in half. So we started putting up the main nets today. So I'm hoping in the next week or 2 we'll be all set up for that. The reason why I brought it up is we need to decide what we're going to do with Cary Park. Just to refinish the surfaces is going to cost a minimum of $60,000. Okay? Not including the fence was in bad shape anyway, including what damage we did last year with. I would say that the sandbagging operation didn't do any more damage to those courts than what were already there, but we had stayed away from them because we had talked 2 years ago about making a premier tennis court, and we were going to do away with that. So I didn't want to just start doing it without bringing it up, so everybody in the public could voice their opinion, and I just didn't want to start tearing out the bituminous and everybody, not have an opportunity. So it's just a matter of, we've only got funds that only go so far, and
I would like that, first of all, the pickleball court over here last night, jammed. Yeah, I mean, they were full. I was going to call you to but you figured it'd probably be something important. I didn't want to do that yet. Because whenever I call you, what is it? It's important.
Yes.
Yes, and sometimes related to work even. And then I drive by, and the basketball gets a lot of use there. If we've been through this, if you know me, I'm always driving through town with my dog. And I could give you a survey if I would have pen and paper with me. And Holler gets a lot, and they were up there painting Holler just last week.
Yep.
And I could see the pickleball lines there, and some kids are banging pucks off the pipes. But after it gets very little use at Cary Park over the years. I mean, like I say, we only have so much money, and these do get a lot of use here. And I mean, no one wants to not have parks everywhere, but I think this is a wise move because these other parks are close enough for other kids to go.
So what are we proposing to do here? Tear it down?
I'm looking for permission to remove the bituminous surface
And then what?
and remove the fence and plant grass there.
And just leave it a field?
Yep. The only other option is to let it sit there the way it is, because we really don't have the money to do, and that's, I've got to buy new pads I'm still waiting for a price on new pads for the roller rink up there that we probably should have replaced 5 or 6 years ago. We can't have everything and take good care of it. And what I'm trying to do is make adequate facilities that we could manage financially, and we have the staff for. It's my recommendation, and, if this body decides to keep them, then we're just going to have to figure out, but something's going to have to give.
Well, I mean, we'll still have it if somebody.
Oh, absolutely. We're still going to have plenty of basketball courts. We're going to have tennis. The pickleball thing's making me a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, because trying to get tennis nets through COVID, and then with the flood last year, and then everybody come out and ask for pickleball. So we're trying to be.
No, I mean, we'll still have Cary Park if we ever wanted to develop
Absolutely.
something else.
Yep. Yep.
Well, and at some point, we're going to have to, we've already swore one time today, I don't know if I want to do it twice. We have to figure something out. I mean, if we're not able to get funding through the state for Cary Park, I mean, we have a lot of money if we are to keep up the arena or to fix that. I mean, we're looking at, 2 years ago, it was over $1 million. Now it's closer to 2.
No, it was more like 2.
Oh, so now we're looking at 3 million or 4 million to keep it up. And I think that that's one of the things that the general community doesn't understand. And unless you sit here and you're involved in it every day, it's hard to keep up with. We don't have the money to fix Kerry Park Arena. We don't have the money to put into these things. That's why we have had the meetings with volleyball and basketball and all these groups that would use the facility, and are they willing to pay to use the facility so that we can maintain it? We don't have the money to fix Kerry Park. We have the money we have the ability to charge people to utilize it and to maintain it moving forward, but we don't have the money to do a lot of the stuff because our infrastructure in our community is just in dire shape. So I think this brings up a bigger conversation, but before us right now is the removal of the basketball and tennis courts. So Chair would entertain a motion to approve that action.
I'll move.
We have a motion by Councillor Kaler. We have a second by Councillor Buller. Thank you, Ted. Appreciate it.
One more question.
Yeah.
When did they change the directions on the basketball courts at the beach?
Last refinish.
All right, and they were out there when I drove by the other day, working on the beach, cleaning it, and they actually were on the basketball court when I drove by.
Do we have a timeline on when that's going to be ready?
It's the road limits are supposed to come off on the 24th. Depends on what the county does with their limits. If they extend them another week or two, then it's going to be after that. But the building is ready to go. It's all the exterior stuff that needs to be done. So I made sure that we got the water turned on and we got the whole building cleaned. And so we're good there. It's just waiting on the contractor when he can haul equipment in there.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you. Steve, did you want to come forward on this particular issue?
On the Kerry Park?
Yeah.
I just make one comment.
No, please.
To me, it's similar. I don't know the background when it was brand new, how much usage it had, but I know there is usage now, and I think, in my opinion, there'd be more usage if it was upgraded.
Yeah.
And I don't see tearing it out as being the solution. I mean, it's all, the infrastructure's there, it's just a matter of cosmetic. You know, the fencing is kind of, needs to be repaired a little bit, but as far as, just because it's in disrepair, to eliminate it,
Yeah.
to me, it smells like a golf course, you know? The owner doesn't have enough money, the equipment's in disrepair, so I'm just gonna close it. And, you know, not consider what the, you know, ramifications are to the community. But I have a friend, he's an avid tennis player. No, he plays pickleball too now, but years ago, when we were, you know, there was 5 areas in town where you could play tennis. I mean, Rainier had a tennis court too, but they, so, you know, that's turned into an AIS control parking lot or whatever. But I heard there was a new tennis court up there by our school.
And it's really nice.
Yeah. But, I was surprised when I heard Kerry Park.
Yeah. And so I guess to his point, to what Steve had just said about what does it change if we leave it in the condition it is in right now? It's in rough shape. It has how much manpower do we put over there to leave it just in the rough shape it's in right now? And how much would it be to not get it to normal operating, but just fix the fence or something like that?
I would have to get a price on what it's going to cost to fix the fence. I just know with the surface refinishing I've done based on what I paid for over here and the tennis court up on the hill, it's about, for those 3 courts, it's going to be a minimum of $60,000 to refurbish the surface.
Is the surface completely shot?
No, but it's $60,000 that, you know, we just put in.
Right.
We end up having to do it every 3, 4, 5 years.
I see what you're saying.
Long-term spending is We don't, the pot of money's not big enough.
And I can understand, I respect that the pot of money isn't big enough to resurface it, and keeping another one doesn't make sense, especially if we were to be able to do something at Cary Park. You're putting more money into that to remove it later. I totally get that. But if we just left it, is it serviceable? Okay. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to remove the basketball and tennis courts from Cary Park. Any other discussion necessary? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
And I will vote yes as well. Motion carries 4-0. Next, we go to the Committee of the Whole recommendation. Consider the agreement from BKV Group for the Municipal Facility Needs Assessment. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Counselor, oh man, it just happened. Wagner? Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second by Counselor Buller.
You need a pen?
Definitely name tags pretty soon.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? City Administrator, do you have anything to add on this from our Committee of the Whole meeting?
Nothing additional, Mayor, no.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
And I will vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Next, we go to our travel expense policy. Chair would entertain a motion to update that policy.
So moved.
We have a motion by Counselor Buller. Do we have a second?
Well, second.
Counselor Wagner. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I will vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Any other business? Hearing none, we'll go to the boards, committees, department heads. City Administrator,
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I have nothing additional this evening.
the city attorney,
I have nothing. Thank you.
department heads, chief. Mr. Brokaw? Okay. Police report is in your packet. Fire, EMS, and rescue is in your packet. Reports to the mayor, council, committees, boards, and commissions.
I would just like to, I'm a little disappointed Mike didn't add, he didn't vocalize or put in his report how exciting it was being with Counselor Gaylor on the radio.
I was waiting for you to bring it up.
Not their day.
I had that on my notes to ask you to.
We went well. Yeah, it went good. It was informative, they let us sit a bit, well, and I even stayed on task, kind of, so that's pretty good for me, too. But it went well, and they're looking forward to when, like I said, it doesn't have to be me and our next guest.
I gotta say, I was 400 miles away from here when they did it, and I could hear it playing too, and it was real, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
For the first
Well, I have heard
time, it'll get better yet, but I don't know how it can, but it was good.
I haven't told my voice carries, but I didn't know 400 miles. That's pretty good.
Thank you for doing it.
Yeah, oh, no,
Thanks, Mike.
So I know it went good. It went really well then. Yeah, that's all I have.
All right, excellent. Anybody else have anything? I just have a couple of meetings that are coming up or that I want to quickly discuss. On Friday, myself and Councilor Wagner are meeting with some of the department heads regarding some new policies in the community for garbage service. We've had some issues. We're going to be having some conversation regarding recycling and all that stuff. So I just want to let you know that that's coming up this Friday. I just really want to quickly discuss the meeting that we had earlier with the HRA. We had a really good opportunity to meet the city council, and our local HRA met for the first time, well, since I've been on council, which has been almost 7-8 years. And it was a really good conversation. And we're looking at how it works with us and them on fixing some of the housing issues we have in our community. Both them and us understand that we're in a pickle when it comes to housing, and we're working together. There's been some hard feelings between both boards, and I'm to blame on some of it, and I want to take some of the ownership. In my State of the City address, I had mentioned that we need the HRA to do more, and I think what I should have said is we need to do more as a community. That's the HRA, that's the city council. So we're going to work together, and we're going to solve, to the best of our ability, some of the housing issues that we have. We do have contractors that are interested in building. There's some issues on how to get that funding from the state through the city to these contractors to be able to help build some places in our community. Us and the HRA are focused on that being our goal, to be able to fix some of these housing things. So I want to publicly say that we are working together, and any hard feelings that there were in the past, I want to say that we are working forward because it's for the best of the community, and we're all trying to do the right thing. I don't have anything else. There is a Wednesday, there is a KEDA meeting, visioning meeting on where we want to see them go in the future, what they're doing. So that's going to be coming up in the next couple of days. It's this week, isn't it? Next week?
Next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was early. All right, we'll go to audience. Anybody in the audience that has anything to bring forward? Go to correspondence. In your packet, you have the Arrowhead Library Systems copy on the summary 2023 budget. Just a couple of reminders. City offices will be closed for Memorial Day. That's Monday, May 29th, 2023. The next regular city council meeting is going to be June 5th, 2023 at 5:30. Get your best clothes on, because there's going to be some city council pictures before that meeting.
Yep.
So,
Can't we do that in the winter? It's going to be too hot to wear all
I'm
that.
sure you remind us.
you only have to wear a suit jacket from the waist up. You can wear
I
shorts.
wear my good shorts and I'll wear my best sweaties.
All right, so just a reminder that we do have pictures before the next council meeting.
Yeah, you might want to send some home.
All right, this meeting is adjourned.